Are you allergic to medical tape?
Am I allergic to medical tape? No, I'm perfectly fine with medical tape. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you ever mic'd someone?
Yeah.
Is Chris Hemsworth allergic to medical tape?
Hasan Minhaj answers increasingly personal questions as the camera gets closer to his face.
That's the full. You're gonna need the full title. Yeah. Where am I looking?
Right in the camera.
Oh, directly into camera. Okay.
Work.
How's work?
Work's good. It's stressful, but it's meaningful and challenging, and that's what matters.
Where do you live?
I live in Hell's Kitchen, New York.
Why don't you live in LA?
I hate LA. I truly hate LA with a passion. I love New York because it's the one city where it's not defined by one monolithic industry. So us all being on top of each other is really beautiful, and this is a city that rewards people that put everything they can into their respective art form.
Do people ever confuse you for another celebrity?
Yeah, whoever's popping at the time and has melanin, I've been confused for them. So there was a hot minute when I was Dev Patel, and there's another minute when I was Riz Ahmed, so yeah.
What was your most memorable debate from high school debate club?
I was put into a debate where we had to argue segregation, and I was very lucky that I had to argue against segregation because that was video recorded and it's out there somewhere. So I'm glad that I had the right position at 15.
How do you balance career and family?
I don't know if it's my place to say, to be quite honest. I'm doing the best I can, but the most challenging thing about having a career in where you're a public figure and having a family is that you make all these decisions and you do these things that are out in the world that other people get to talk about, tear apart, nitpick, like, not like, and the ramifications are that your family has to live with that for better, for worse. They don't get a voice or a vote on those things. And that's something that I think about a lot, and it's challenging.
Have you ever made a mistake in your career that you regret?
You know, when I was starting out, there was a lot of things that I was doing in my career where I was hedging. I was hedging my expectations of what I could accomplish in show business. I was hedging the expectations of what I demanded of others. One of the first pilot seasons I went out for, there was this scene where I walked into the room and I'm supposed to slate for the camera. And they go, just say your name to camera and then we'll slate. And I remember I walked in and they go, say your name. And I go, oh, I'm Hasan Minhaj. And the guy's like, Hasan? And I'm like, no, it's Hasan Minhaj. And he goes, it's fine, it doesn't matter. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't. And I kind of believed him. So I regret moments like that, like taking those little jabs, those little asides, where I wasn't defining what I was doing and who I was on my own terms, because my name does matter and who I am does matter. Even if the audition doesn't mean anything, this matters. Like who I am as a person and the art that I'm creating, it matters. So I should have just kept it going until he got it right.
When do you feel most lonely?
I think anytime I have to poke a bear that I've been told, you probably shouldn't poke this bear. A lot of the people that I've talked about on the show have not been poked before in a real significant way. And so doing the long division of, should I do this, should I not? I'm delving into territory that a lot of times hasn't been, gone into just yet. So it's scary, and that can be lonely.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Like we said. That was great.
Cool. Man, it's getting super emo at the end. Are you doing that on purpose?
Family.
How's the family?
Family's great. Bina's great. Daughter's beautiful. I'm very blessed.
You set up a Gmail for your daughter?
Yes. How did you guys know this?
Has anyone emailed the baby?
Yeah. This is actually very scary that you guys know this. My wife and I emailed our daughter for her first birthday, which is about 4 months ago, and we both sent her messages from us, just saying how the past year has been. And I signed it Dad, which to me was really special because she's the only person in the world that calls me Dad, which is really beautiful.
Your parents are in an arranged marriage. Has that affected how you view romance?
For sure. I mean, in Desi culture, arranged marriage is just the expectation, but it definitely got me to really believe in the power of loyalty and putting the collective group over individuality. We is more important than me.
How has fatherhood affected your relationship to your own dad?
Oh, that's a Simba and Mufasa question. Yeah, everything, all the cliches are right. Everything my dad told me was kind of right. You were right, Dad. Yes. I am going to be very pissed if she doesn't text me. I'm going to be very mad.
How do you and your daughter prefer to spend quality time together?
Mornings is our time, so I get up, or she gets me up. She wakes up around 6. In those first 2 hours, we just hang out, and it's the best.
You've talked about gaps of cultural understanding between you and your parents. What's a gap you anticipate to have with your own daughter?
Oh, it's going to be terrifying. She's going to be like, Dad, I'm going to join the Matrix. I'm going in. We're going to be full-on cyborgs. Like, me looking at this camera, we're all just going to be one. And I'm going to be like, no, there should be a separation between human beings and technology. And she's like, you're such a narc, Dad. Let's fully plug in. It's going to be a heated debate.
What do you hope will be different by the time your daughter is 18?
I hope that she can unapologetically be herself. And she doesn't have to qualify things about her identity or upbringing or who she is. Max, is it weird that I'm dressed exactly the same as the crew? Like, we could swap places. I'm ready to hold a boom mic, is what I'm saying.
Identity.
How you been lately?
That's the most loaded question that you've asked me, Max.
Right, yeah.
How are you? That's pretty heavy. You ever have one of those with one of your friends? You're just like, hey, how are you? And they just like break down. You're like, okay. That's where we're at right now.
If you had another name, what would you name yourself?
I would go Prashant Venkataramanajam. I want more letters. Hasan Minhaj is already too easy, but now that I've been bracing my name, let's just go full-on South Indian name. Give me all the letters.
You used to have a black Toyota Camry, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I had a black Toyota Camry. Like many immigrants, I had a black Toyota Camry, yes.
Why'd you get rid of it?
Because people kept getting into the car thinking I was their Uber driver. I'm not joking. I had to get rid of that thing. It happened too often.
You once mentioned the importance of making memories in your shoes.
Yes.
What is your most notable memory wearing the shoes you're in right now?
These shoes right here? I'm a big advocate of wear your shoes, make memories in your shoes, life is short, crease your Jordans. I have been to Europe in these shoes, and I went to Europe with my wife in these shoes.
What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done to fit in?
The most embarrassing thing that I've done to fit in, I remember being a kid, my grandparents were living with us. My grandma would wear a sari everywhere, and I remember being at the grocery store with my grandma and trying to be further away from her because I didn't want people to think that we were together.
When did you last cry in front of another person?
The last time I cried was actually June 4th, and it was when my daughter started walking. And it was the happiest moment for me. What if this is what therapy was like? They're like performers, musicians, you got like people who work in the creative arts, like therapy is much needed, but like the only way we do it is if people were recording us.
Politics.
If aliens made contact with Earth and you were the spokesperson for humanity, what would you say to them?
I apologize about man-made climate change.
Would you rather have a lifetime supply of Jordans or impeach President Trump?
Okay, so that's a tough question because I think I have enough Jordans, I have enough material goods, but I think in order to do the latter, you would have to have Congress be functioning. So in order to impeach a president, Congress has to function properly, and so I wish for Congress to function properly because that lasts longer than a president.
What makes you...
Damn, that was like, Max, that was a great, that's like a I should run for public office answer.
What makes you feel most like an American?
I would say I felt the most like an American at the White House Correspondents' Dinner when I was making fun of the most powerful people in the world.
What's a headline that you can't get out of your mind?
My favorite headline right now is the one where a bunch of people stormed Area 51 to, quote, see them aliens. Actually, when I read that headline, I felt like an American because that was, only in America would that be a headline.
What have you been trying to do more of?
I've been trying to do things without being attached to technology.
What is the scariest thing about being Muslim in America?
The scariest thing about being a Muslim in America is having to always prove your loyalty. and have your loyalty be questioned to this country. That's the toughest thing about being a Muslim. After 9/11, it became very clear that the Muslim part of my identity was something that now was indicative of me being an enemy of the state. And so ever since then, and if you look at even political rhetoric here in this country and around the world, there's this idea that if you're Muslim, you are an anti-national or you don't belong. And I think having to navigate the idea of constantly being in an away game, even though you're supposed to be playing a home game, that's always been tough for me.
All right, cut. That's a wrap.
That was fun. That was a shoot. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.